Christ almighty, guys. Just our basics isn't even together as a team.
Why did you become a chef?
Because I have a passion for food, that's why.
I have
Right,
that problem
thank
for
you.
10 years. Okay, can you make a change? Make a change.
Kitchen Nightmares wasn't saving restaurants. It was manufacturing drama for television ratings while systematically deceiving viewers about both its methods and outcomes. With an 84% restaurant failure rate, multiple lawsuits alleging staged scenes and hired actors, and documented evidence of production manipulation,
Cook. The food was shocking. The calamari weren't even fresh. Why do you need to lie to me on a professional front?
Calamari? They're fresh? Yes, it is.
Gordon Ramsay's hit show represents one of reality television's most elaborate deceptions. The evidence reveals a show that evolved from legitimate restaurant consultation into a fabricated entertainment spectacle.
Have people make shit up that isn't true. I'm not doing it. I'm not making any more food.
Amy's nuts.
Using planted food, hired temporary staff, manipulated dinner services, and deceptive editing to create compelling television while destroying more restaurants than it saved. Legal documents, participant testimonies, and investigative journalism expose systematic staging practices that contradict the show's claims of authentic restaurant rescue. The damning statistics. Failure was the real formula. Kitchen Nightmares' success narrative crumbles under scrutiny of actual restaurant outcomes. Only 18 of 84 featured restaurants remain open as of 2025.
You're making powdered mashed potato.
You talk about the mashed potatoes. I didn't hear not one person complain about them tonight. Did you?
What?
A devastating 79% failure rate that's actually worse than the restaurant industry's natural 60% failure rate over 3 years. More damning still, Season 2 achieved a perfect 0% success rate, with all 11 featured restaurants eventually closing.
Tonight, Mohammed, I've never used you, I've respected you, I'm proud of what we've done, I've never cheated you.
What's going on?
You asking for management?
The timeline reveals the deception's scope. 25 restaurants survived less than 1 year after appearing on the show, with many closing before their episodes even aired. Love Bites Cafe closed in July 2023, 4 months before their episode broadcast in November 2023. Black Pearl in New York closed just 4 days after their episode aired. Layla's in Pomona closed before broadcast, and El Greco in Austin closed 5 months after filming, but before airing. These weren't restaurants failing despite Gordon's help. They were failing businesses selected precisely because they would fail, providing dramatic television while misleading viewers about the show's effectiveness. Restaurant owner John Chapman of Chappie's on Church summarized the reality.
There's a lot of grit and sand, so it's just like eating a bowl of clay, seasoned with sand.
It was truly a kitchen nightmare for me. Gordon Ramsay destroyed my business. His customer base dropped from 200 diners nightly to single tables after the show replaced authentic Creole cuisine with generic cheeseburgers and fried chicken. Legal warfare. Documented evidence of systematic staging. Multiple restaurants took Kitchen Nightmares to court with detailed allegations of fabrication, providing legal documentation of the show's deceptive practices. Martin Hyde, manager of Dylan's Restaurant, sued for $3 million, alleging systematic staging, including planted rotten hamburger meat, hired reality TV updates, the list actors posing as satisfied customers, and deliberately defective furniture for staged dramatic moments. Hyde's lawsuit detailed how producers coached him to lie down and rest, specifically to make him appear lazy on camera. His direct quote captures the show's essence. Gordon called me a fake, but the whole show is a fake. The lawsuit alleged that 90% of diners during the grand reopening were either friends of Ramsay or paid extras.
Let him go. Go on. Get it out.
No,
get it off your chest.
But you,
For the first time since I met you, show me that you're a man.
You've accused me of riding on this man's shoulders.
Why are you pointing like that?
Because I'm angry, okay? You want to see passion?
Good.
I'm giving you passion.
Oceana Grill in New Orleans sued twice, in 2011 and 2018, with specific allegations that producers staged a scene where Ramsay vomited during his kitchen inspection and planted a mouse in a rodent trap to manufacture drama for their show.
This is from this morning. You bullshitting little fucker.
Their legal filing stated production teams went to great lengths to over-dramatize and even fabricate problems with the restaurant in order to increase ratings. The Black Pearl owners in New York accused the show of hiring actors to attend the relaunch and claimed the diners who filled the restaurant at the show's end were all hired actors instructed to order only menu items Ramsay created.
Half hour, you all look so cool as if you don't give a fuck. It's disgusting.
These weren't isolated incidents, but part of a documented pattern of litigation, revealing systematic deception. Behind the cameras, production manipulation exposed restaurant owners, staff, and production insiders have revealed the extensive manipulation required to create kitchen nightmares, dramatic scenarios. Restaurants were deliberately overbooked to guarantee chaos. Finn McCool's was given 150 guests despite only having 50 seats. New menus and kitchen staff were introduced just hours before service, ensuring the failures necessary for dramatic television. Paul and Leslie Bazzini described how producers asked inflammatory questions designed to create marital conflict.
Wow. Yeah, you fuck off. How's that? There we go.
They asked her how she could stay married to him if the restaurant failed. They reported having no interaction with Ramsay at all, except during filming, contradicting the show's portrayal of extensive consultation. One owner was sent in only shortly before dinner service started with an entirely new kitchen and menu, a setup guaranteeing failure. Evidence of hired temporary staff appears throughout multiple episodes. A cook at Finn McCool's, who dramatically dropped food on the floor, was reportedly hired just for the days of filming. The show's credits include a telling disclaimer. The producers may have provided customers at the restaurant with a financial contribution towards the cost of their meal, essentially admitting to paying customers to appear satisfied or dissatisfied with food. Industry analysis by StarChef2.com suggests some of those refrigerator nightmares may be planted for a more dramatic effect, while multiple restaurant owners reported conditions being artificially worsened before filming. The systematic nature of these techniques reveals a production process prioritizing dramatic content over authentic restaurant improvement. The notorious episodes when staging became obvious. Certain Kitchen Nightmares episodes became notorious for their obvious artificiality, providing case studies in reality TV manipulation. Amy's Baking Company represented the apex of performance art masquerading as reality television. Amy Buzaglo later admitted production staff rearranged ingredients and sabotaged their POS system, while customers were reportedly the same ones who had left negative reviews beforehand, essentially casting known critics to guarantee conflict. Sebastian's restaurant featured an owner who was literally a professional actor, with IMDb credits including roles with the Olsen twins. Sebastian Demodica's dramatic confrontations and mood swings appeared performative because they were performative. The restaurant was staffed by aspiring actors, more concerned about auditioning for their acting roles than serving meals. Burger Kitchen's family drama provided perfect television with the $250,000 inheritance theft storyline, but the restaurant closed just months after filming, suggesting the business was never viable. The emotional family confrontations were captured with multiple camera angles requiring extensive choreography, impossible for genuinely spontaneous moments. These episodes reveal the show's evolution from restaurant consultation to entertainment spectacle, with participants selected and situations manufactured specifically for maximum dramatic impact rather than genuine business improvement. UK versus US, the transformation from authentic to artificial. The contrast between Kitchen Nightmares' original UK version and the American adaptation exposes how authentic restaurant consultation became manufactured television drama. The UK version won multiple BAFTA awards and functioned as legitimate business programming, with Gordon Ramsay rarely raising his voice and focusing on culinary techniques and business operations. Critics praised the UK version's authenticity. Jane Redfern noted Ramsay's genuine commitment and documentary-style approach. When the Evening Standard accused the UK show of staging, Ramsay successfully sued for libel and won £75,000, defending the show's authenticity. The U.S. Fox adaptation deliberately introduced reality TV formulas prioritizing conflict over consultation. Television critic Robert Lloyd observed, whereas the British Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares is fundamentally a food show, the Fox edition emphasizes mishap, argument, and emotional breakdown almost to the exclusion of cuisine. The production techniques reveal the transformation. The UK version featured self-narration, minimal musical score, longer takes, and documentary-style filming. The US version introduced dramatic narration, Hans Zimmer-style orchestral scores, creating artificial tension, aggressive editing with multiple cuts per scene, and manufactured confrontations through provocative producer questioning. Even the sound design was manipulated. British broadcasts of US episodes feature alternate soundtrack and mix, with less prominent musical stings and different narration, revealing how the music and sound effects artificially enhance drama. The insider accounts. Whistleblowers reveal the machine production staff and participants have provided detailed accounts of how Kitchen Nightmares manufactured its dramatic scenarios. A Kitchen Nightmares production assistant revealed through Reddit AMA that customers were locals that sign up through some sort of online casting call, rather than genuine restaurant patrons. Restaurants received weeks of advance notice rather than surprise visits, contradicting the show's spontaneous presentation. Katie Cipriano, former waitress at Amy's Baking Company, confirmed that all customers present during the filmmaking had made prior reservations with Fox rather than being random diners. She revealed police were called during filming when conflicts escalated beyond camera-friendly levels, with producers having to pay for everyone's meals when situations became uncontrollable. Multiple restaurant owners described identical manipulation techniques, being kept away from their restaurants until right before dinner service, receiving completely new menus and kitchen staff just hours before filming, and facing producer questions designed to purposely cause friction between business partners or family members. Brian Mazzeo of Finn McCool's described the real Gordon Ramsay as warm, a great teacher, and a good man who was not confrontational off-camera, directly contradicting the aggressive television persona. This testimony, repeated by multiple participants, reveals how editing and selective filming created a fictional character bearing little resemblance to the actual person. Timeline deception, the gap between filming and reality. Kitchen Nightmares systematically deceived viewers through timeline manipulation, with restaurants failing during the 6 to 18-month gap between filming and broadcast, while episodes portrayed successful transformations. This gap allowed the show to present success stories to viewers while restaurants were already failing in reality. Love Bites Cafe perfectly exemplifies this deception. The restaurant closed in July 2023, but their episode aired in November 2023, showing a successful transformation. Viewers saw a rescued restaurant that had actually been closed for months. Multiple restaurants closed before their episodes aired, making the success narratives complete fabrications. Restaurant owners consistently reported immediately reverting to old practices after filming concluded. The Sebastians had all of Gordon's changes undone and old menu returned shortly after filming. The Secret Garden owner abandoned Gordon's changes quickly after filming. These rapid reversions occurred because the changes were temporary theatrical props rather than sustainable business improvements. TV Revisited, the financial reality remained unchanged. Restaurants featured on the show maintained their existing debt loads and operational problems. Cosmetic renovations and menu changes couldn't address fundamental issues like Dylan's $20,000 to $50,000 monthly losses or Jay Willie's $1.2 million debt burden. The show provided television-friendly solutions to complex business problems requiring sustained professional consultation. Conclusion: the elaborate deception machine. Kitchen Nightmares represents reality television at its most deceptive, systematically misleading viewers about both its methods and outcomes, while actively harming many of the businesses it claimed to help. The evidence from legal cases, participant testimonies, investigative journalism, and statistical analysis reveals a production process that prioritized dramatic content over authentic restaurant improvement. The show's legacy is devastation rather than salvation. an 84% failure rate worse than natural restaurant mortality, multiple lawsuits alleging systematic fraud, and documented evidence of staging techniques including hired actors, planted evidence, manipulated services, and deceptive editing. Gordon Ramsay himself admitted in 2017, "I got fed up with kitchen nightmares because I was getting ZZ," acknowledging criticism over restaurant failures. Kitchen Nightmares succeeded as television entertainment while failing completely at its stated mission of restaurant rescue. The comprehensive evidence exposes how reality TV can systematically deceive audiences through sophisticated production manipulation, creating compelling narratives that bear little resemblance to actual events. For viewers who believed they were watching authentic restaurant consultation, Kitchen Nightmares represents a masterclass in how television can manufacture reality for maximum dramatic impact while systematically misleading its audience about fundamental truths.